So we're just in the 2017 Triton today. Two models of this one. One has manual aircon and the other has climate control. For the same year, the install video is pretty much the same. So manual one's a bit harder because you've got to pop these cables off, but we'll show that in the video. And even you'll see this whole trim's coming off here, so you can sort of see what that trim looks like. But if your car looks like that, then it's the sort of same one. So even like a lot of the newer Tritons, the lower badge still have the exact same style trim as this, so they actually will use this style install video. Head unit here, pretty basic, FM AM, can do Bluetooth. What else can it do? Settings, what god, yes, interest. Yeah. Not really, pretty basic like radio. You got steering wheel controls, they will still work. You've obviously got reverse camera, that'll still work. Obviously you don't have trajectory lines there, they're just static lines. And there's a USB here, we will keep that working. So all factory options will still work, and we'll go through and I'll put this in. The first thing we're going to do is go down to the driver's side and up under here. Now what we're going to do is this like blue one I've already taken off. So all you got to do is push down like a clip on top. You can do it with your hand, push down and pull that off. Then you just want to pull this whole cable out of the little bracket it's in. I don't think I'll be able to do it swiftly. I use a pair of pliers. I'm going to get a pair of pliers in there and pull that blue cable out. Then we're going to do the same on the other side. So you can just put a bit of force on that blue one and pull it out of there. You can see it's come out of here. I just use a pair of pliers and I've popped it off there. Now I'm going to do the same on the other side. Pop the glove box down, pull these two sides in. Got little box the same. I've got small little rotating tabs, and when you get almost at the bottom, you can actually pull the whole thing off and just lie it on the ground. Then in here, if I can show you, we're going to do the exact same as the other side. So you've got a yellow one up in here. It's at the back. One, got to pop that off and pull it out of its holder. That yellow one there, it's down there. And there's a black one just here, doing the exact same thing. So push down, pull it off and pull it out of its holder. Exact same as we did on the other side. So the black one's off there. Again, I could pop that black one up pretty easy with my hands to pop it off. Just push down the white tab. I got a pair of pliers in here and just push the pliers that way. That popped off. And I've done the same for the yellow ones over here, and I just pulled the yellow one out of its bracket. Now it's time to pop off this with some trim tools. You've got a CD in here, which sure isn't. Good time to take it out would be now. Trim tools are included in the kit. What you want to do is find where they can just wedge in and work this trim off. Now I come under here, I got my hand in here now, and I can actually just come around in my hand. I normally find your hands actually work pretty well, and just work your way all the way around, like so. And over here, it's a bit tight in here, so get your trim tool into this one, pop, just like that, it comes off. And because you've undone those few cables, you should have a little bit more slack here. Then on the back, you've got a few plugs. It's up to you if you unplug them or leave them in, because they're just 4 Phillips. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to take this out and I'll leave this floating here. So I've taken those 4 Phillips off. Just use a stubby driver. Just these, stubby screwdriver. It just leaves it hanging there, and then we can take off 1, 2, 3, 4 Phillips here, and this will pull out. Those 4 Phillips are out now. Pull the whole unit out. All the plugs in the back, you see press down on the top tab and then pull them out to get them out. That's all the plugs out. Back of the old radio. So I'll show you. We had our FM AM antenna, and by the tabs, I just mean these little tabs here. Push down and then pull them out. If it's hard to come out, I'll push it all the way back in hard, press it down hard, and then pull it back out. So these are the 3 plugs that were in there. This one's hanging here, obviously for a different model or something. There we go. Just cover what you get in our kit here. So you get our head unit. That's our main 20-pin plug, auxiliary plugs, Jeep's 4G, FM, AM antenna. Obviously our unit is built into the Facia, so there it is there. Looking pretty good. Instruction manual for our units. Then we get into all our plugs here. These are our camera input plugs. Our reverse camera will come into here. Auxiliary plugs, only needed if you are using an aftermarket amp. External microphone, we will put that in. A 4G antenna. If you're going to put a SIM card on the unit, that is the SIM card tray for the unit as well. I just always start the unit. It runs its own sat nav. Our third USB point. Handy if you're going to run our dash cam or a tire pressure system or something. USB retention cable, if we can keep it. Our Bluetooth antenna and Wi-Fi. I always put that in now because we are going to need that. I actually do like to put in this one here too. Video in because we have that in for testing. Auxiliary in, this gives you a third camera input or auxiliary input. Our 2 USBs and external mic cables. And then we've got our plug and play kit here that allows everything to work with the CAN bus box. The OBD2 scan tool, USB drive for updates, hydration assistant, trim tools. First thing I do is just test that something's going to work. So grab our kit. Now the plugs can only fit the plugs are going to match up to, so can't go too wrong, and they should clip nicely. If they don't, check in here, and like so our plugs that there's no bent pins. This will plug into here, this will plug into here, everything's clipped nicely. Now you've got a couple, what we call these like SIM plugs here. So you might have to unplug this and swap it. Not on this model though, because this model doesn't have 360 cameras, but you do have a little unplug here that you sometimes have to swap. So you'd have to like unplug like this one and plug like this one in, and you'd probably find you'd be like using this plug. So yeah, that's all we have going on here. Once all that's in, basically what we want to do is grab our unit. We want to also make sure this yellow cam in cable goes to our purple one here, and this will make sure our reverse camera is working. 20 pin cable put in, and the SM cable in. And I like to do a test because it's better to check everything as it should be before you get too far. We've got power, always a good sign. So we're getting our reverse camera on by default here. So what I would do is unplug one of those SM plugs I was talking about. Pull one of those out. Here we go, that's gone. Now let me just put this in reverse. Now it's all working okay. So that's okay. So that was something good we just had to check. So we got reverse camera. Normally like to come in. We've got like radio, stereo controls, and like sound. So we are basically good there. The one I had to unplug here, you can see I've unplugged that little black connector there because that was causing us a few issues. So I have unplugged that now. So now we'll go and put in all the extra cables we need. All these other cables, GPS. So just needs a clear view of the sky. No metal above it, through the windscreen. 3M sort of stick pad at the back, peel that off and just find a good spot. Keeps the room on these cars. Just want to make sure you get it just straight up under here. There's a bit of good spot. Just get it back from where the carpet's sitting. So it's going to sit up straight under there and have a really good view through the windscreen of the sky. Give yourself a bit of length there. Third USB. This customer's not using this for anything, so I just run all the USBs into the glove box. If you're using our dash cam or tyre pressure system or something, it could be handy to hook into there, but for now, run it through this side over there. Maybe hanging down. Again, our dual USB and mic one. Now, we're going to keep our factory USB working here. Now, all we have to do is go over here, and you see that grey plug there? Pull that out. That's our USB, and I'll show you what we're going to do. So, get out adapter cable, plugs into here, and one of our USBs, you can choose which one will plug into here. That'll just keep that factory USB port working. And again, I'll pass it up through back to here, and I'll run that through. I will plug the external mic into here too in a second. So factory USB, unsure what goes down that box down the side. It's not super common. SIM card, again, if you're going to put a SIM card on another unit to give this data the whole time or treat like its own phone, you can. Again, just pop it back behind here because glove box, good place for it to live. Hanging over the side here. 4G antenna. This one's exact same. Little tab, peel that off. You can just find a good spot to put it. I'm going to go right up here. That's the under here. It's basically sticking in a little sort of crevice is this bit. Give it a good stick down. Stop it stop moving. Give it a pull. Give yourself a bit extra. Oh, that didn't stick so good. Oh, it's not a great spot for it. I'll change my location. And I'll put it up here on this side. You obviously just need it to be a full flat area for it to stick down. So I'm just putting one of those now. Hands are pretty good for it under here. You can just pull that carpet back and stick it back on. Hopefully you could see that it was in way too much. External mic. Now, this is the only one that takes a little bit of time to run, really, because ideally I'll show you where we want to get this. We want to get it up here. So, yeah, you can pop these two off. Our handle will come off. They'll have two nuts under here. You use your trim tool. Pull that whole bit off, and you can put the mic, just tape it to the existing wires that are coming down there, all the way down here. Use your trim tools to pop this side piece of plastic off, and you can run it through there under the steering wheel and pop it out here, and it plugs into here. So I'll run that. Now off the old fascia, there's a few bits have to come out. Aircon vents and the front trim. So you've got all these screws here. I undo them all on both sides. You can pull the aircon vent off and that's our front trim. Then we're also going to take these clips off. You can see they're all off there. There's one little clip here, pop that off. The other thing, it's a new clip on here, and that'll come off like that. So that's out at one side here. And then obviously you've got this little piece of trim on the front here. Come around. Sorry, you probably can't see that. We want to pop our little front trim off. We've got a couple little bits. You've got a clip here you need to push in. You've got a clip down here you need to push down. Right, so and that one there, that in, and that's your front trim piece off too. So we'll take those off on both sides and we'll swap them over. I'm just going to do the opposite of what we just did. Every factory line up, clip it all in, set front piece of trim on, going down our aircon vents like so. You can see that's what it ends up looking like. So it screws back in, and we're all good. And you just got to pop off all these trim clips here. So you just put a trim tool onto one side, outside leave them up, and they obviously come off. And then I'll swap them over onto our Facia. So that's all pretty straightforward. So I've put the 4 screws up back in the AC panel and put it back on. You could completely pull the AC panel off if you wanted. You just have to undo the plugs here and pull the cables through. I just leave it there because it isn't that hard to screw it back on. You can see I put the clips around the outside here, and you can see the AC panels on the front. I tape up our cords a little bit here just to tidy them up, and I do like to sort of like tape them sort of where they're going in. So I tape all the auxiliary ones up, I tape the 4G, I tape all the antennas up, and like the 20-pin plug, just so like that way I can like see where it's all going, and so know I plug them all in. So what I want to do now is all the plugs in. Then I'll rest the head unit pretty much all the way in. I'll check everything still works, I'll power it up, and then I'll hook our AC cables back up, and then I'll push it in. So you can see FMAM, it's the 4G. I'll make sure you put your reverse plug in to the main harness here. These are all our auxiliary plugs and main 20-pin plug. So as we push it back, we'll just have these wires all tuck into here, and then we'll hook up our AC. You see I've pushed this back in now. Then when you put it on like these, they just I go on reverse. So I put the wide end in first, and then that circle clip that was sort of sticking out, it should line up with a groove in the crack here. So just to make sure you keep those in the right position, because that will be your controlling your AC. So you can see I'm just testing it out at the moment, and if that sort of a cable does move, it won't be in the right position. So there you have it all put in there. So obviously before you go and push it back in, I just push on the top first and then work my way down. It was a bit jammed because the CAN bus box, the orange box, actually dropped down, so I just made sure I tucked that back in so it kind of drops down at the top level. All clip back in your 2 AC things back on, or 1, 2, 3, and then we'll just test it out here. So obviously steering wheel control's working fine, that's cool. You've got sound, put the car into reverse. Reverse camera's working fine. Yeah, the trajectory line here doesn't work on this model, so what we can do here is settings, car infotainment, video, just turn that on. You can put the warning line on, and you just get the same one you sort of had before. So reverse camera, steering wheel controls, this USB will still work. Obviously you can see it all looks pretty good here. It fits in all sort of nicely with the factory fascia, and all our options are still working. So a great upgrade to do. It's all pretty straightforward on this model. It isn't too hard to install. The only hard thing are those AC sort of cables that we'll just add a bit of time to it, but you should be able to get this done in a couple of hours really.